What's up, everyone out there, and welcome back to Corked Stats, powered by the Mayo Media Net on YouTube, presented by Jock MKT, the brand new daily fantasy app, merging Wall Street with Main Street with 161st Street, and we all loving every bit of it, getting paid like every single day. Me, you, the Corked Stats crew. Download that app, Jock MKT. It's free. They're going to match the first $100 for free. And if it's free, it's for me. Every day we're bringing you the 3 pillars of profit here on the Mayo Media Net. That's daily, DFS, and Jock MKT. We're going to get into fantasy every day. I try to do something a little bit different. On Wednesday, we take a look at some advanced statistical leaderboards and maybe look for some names you might not be privy to. You know, as the landscape is changing, always got to keep the head on a swivel to be the tip of the spear. And then, of course, we're going to wrap it up with some bets. I give you a first look parlay every single day. And then, you know, again, this show is just the first brick in the building. If you're going to go all the way up to the sky, you got to have a strong foundation. And that's what this show is, getting you ready for the baseball landscape every single day here on YouTube. Or you can download the audio-only pod, rate, review, and subscribe to that bad boy, getting you ready for the whole thing. Then just follow along on Twitter, MLB Moving Averages. I also have a Patreon page, but don't worry about the dirty P word. It's free Treon. Follow Treon. Just get with me, Treon, because we're doing it all. Custom write-ups. I run the algo. You get risk management, parlays. It's literally every single thing you could think of. Chimichangas, bags of chips, and whatever else you like to snack on. Let's get into the first pillar of profit. Today we'll be looking at some stacks. The best way to do that is to try and identify handed splits. You know, it's early in the day. Lineups are not out yet. We may even have pitching changes, which is why you really want to stay tuned with us all day. We're getting you ready, keeping the pockets fat, the lights on, and the kids fed. Let's see. First up, stack we got, Yusei Kikuchi pitching for the Blue Jays against my Yankees. Man, my Yankees are playing so well. It's really becoming almost uncomfortable to back them, but they look great. Everybody's pitching, but the Yankees are hitting. Kikuchi last 2 years. I like to use pitching stats that go back 21 and 22 right now. I run an SP matrix that I provide every single day. Another one of the free tools that you get every single day when you roll with us at the Mayo Media Net. Again, just follow Patreon, Twitter, the Bluebird app, all that good stuff, and we'll get you ready. I run advanced statistical baskets. Everything is compartmentalized and formatted so you can get an idea of what these matchups look like. And again, I have handed splits, the best place to look for daily play. Kikuchi really struggling against righties, 846 OPS, 365 WOBA, not looking really good. So we're looking for Yankees righties. Give me Judge, give me DJ LM, the machine, give me Glaber, Torres. Again, on that sheet, hate to keep referencing it, but it's evolving every day. We're not just throwing names out there. We have settings, they have star rankings, and prices even for Jock MKT to help you make sure you're maximizing that efficiency. Next up, man, Martin Perez for the Rangers has been excellent the last 2 times out. I think he's gone 13 scoreless or 1 earned in his last 13. I don't know if I'm buying it against the Phillies righties. In his past, he's also had some troubles, handed split against righties, 840 OPS, 358 WOBA. I think we're going to be looking at the Phillies righties to get back on track against Martin Perez. It's Castellanos, Rhys Hoskins, Alec Baum. Next up, Kyle Hendricks. Man, he's been the little girl with the curl, either really, really good or really, really bad. It's been up and down. The White Sox starting to get it going, but Hendricks has really struggled against lefties, and sometimes it's just placement of the ball doesn't break the right way, and instead of being able to get in on them, right, as a righty, to get in on lefties, he's got to come across the plate. If the ball doesn't come all the way across the plate, it ends up middle, and ends up in the seats. That's what we'd be looking for. We're looking for lefties today, and I always like to have a couple players like this. It's Gavin Sheets, Yasmani Grandal. Not only Grandal, we might need a catching spot if we're playing DFS. I don't mean to rag DFS. I just don't think it's as good as Jock MKT. In Jock MKT, if you have 1 or 2 really good players, you could profit on the entire venture. I think that's the simplest way to put it. In DFS, you can have 7 of 9 hits and walk away a loser. So I don't think DFS has no place. I like to play winner take all. I mean, to be honest, isn't it winner take all anyway? Do you really want to finish in 18th place and make 45 cents? No, I'd rather save that money and be able to enter another contest with another shot to win it all. I've been playing these, I don't know, there's some cool ones out there. $9, pretty affordable. I think you play 22 people, the winner gets $200, something like that. Hey man, that's a nice little hit. You could play it every day. Again, the name of the game here is sustainability. Everybody wants to bet the world and win every day. Doesn't work that way. We've got to stay within ourselves. Yesterday we lost again. Oh well, big whoop. We lost 0.62 units or something like that, and it's just not a big deal. That's how you stay in the arena. Again, that's why I've got these black eyes. Last stack we got the Brewers lefties against Vladimir Gutierrez, so we're looking for Yelich, Tellez, and Wong. Gutierrez has really, really struggled against lefties. 892 OPS in his career, 378 team WOBA. So that's what we'll be looking for. Last wrap on the stacks. One thing I wanted to get to is I know not everyone can play Jock Market, though if you are able to, I really fully endorse it. I took a $20 promo where I'm up over 3K. I've been oscillating between like 34 and 3,600. You go up and down as you play. And that's kind of the name of the game. But there are no jackpots, so you don't have any huge losses. You don't have any huge wins. But you also always we're trying to like click up, right? That's what we do here. That's how we keep the lights on. If you're going to dreamcast on winning jackpots, yes, you might. And this might be the place to help you do that. But in reality, we want to get better every single day. We want to be moving forward. And again, the door is open to DFS to hit those winner-take-alls while we are trying to grind out 8, 10, 15, 20% profits on the daily. All right. Oh, sorry. Last thing on the stacks. Again, the people, sorry, I get sidetracked sometimes. The people that can't play Jock Market. Any name we dropped is 1,000% viable as a total base play over 1/2 a base. The better players, 1.5 bases, then we're going to have to get to the odds. If you're getting plus 125, I'd say okay. And again, check out the sheet. I have this stuff on the sheet. A 2-star rating is over 1.5 bases. A 1-star rating is over 1/2 a base. A 3-star rating is generally a home run call, though I'm not really betting home runs right now. The odds haven't moved with the decrease in output. All right, so that'll do it for the stacks right now. Hop on the Jock Market. Download that bad boy. Code is MMN, Mayo Media Net. All right, let's do some fantasy stuff, people. I love fantasy, and fantasy really is an interesting game because you always want to be working at it, but at the same time, you kind of need to be relaxed and let it play out and, not overreact, but you also, have to pay just enough attention. I think that's what I mean. So that's what we're going to do here. Every day we do just 5 or 6 minutes on fantasy, but Wednesdays in particular, we're doing the advanced statistical leaderboard looking ahead. Tomorrow we'll do the 10 and 12 home team league as we go across the whole, spectrum, every position, and depth, right? So you know me. This is just how I roll. I'm not going to give you one shortstop. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 shortstops, right? If person A is going to do, big Johnny Stud is going to overdo. All right, let's dive into some advanced statistics. I have 2 pitcher stats and 2 hitter stats. Let's blow on through it. Hopefully this will help us learn something, maybe identify a name or two. First thing we got here is whiff per swing. Something that, again, I like to use stats that you're not going to find on the general stat pages, right? You could find that stuff on your own. I like to think if you're smart enough to listen to me, you're smart enough to do that. So whiff per swing is a great metric to look for kind of outliers. And at the top of the board, we see the best in the game. Burns, Giolito, McClanahan, Gausman, Ohtani, Rodon, Peralta. Yeah, pretty good list. Lazaro still up there. Don't worry about him. Sam Long, number 4 on the list. 39% whiff per swing. All you do, it doesn't mean run and add him. It doesn't mean trade for him. It doesn't mean blow your brains out in fab. It means circle him. Down the list. Ryan, Scherzer, Dylan Cease, Garrett Cole, Hunter Green. So there you go. Hunter Green, got to be circled. He's probably owned. He might not be in 10, maybe even some 12. A guy we need to circle. Patrick Sandoval, Kyle Wright. There's some legitimacy. How about Kyle Gibson? Never really thought of his swing and miss. Whiff per swing. The new cutter and stuff is working. So keep an eye on Kyle Gibson. You might be able to kind of, I think people, this is an interesting one. It might be thought of as buying high, right? Because he's doing really well. You're not going to have to pay ace prices. And the person you're getting Gibson from might be thinking that they just sold high. When in reality, you're looking for a back-end starter, 4 or 5 in 12-team leagues, 7, 8, 9 in 15-team leagues. He's probably an every week starter in 15. And you get to, pick and choose your spots in 12s. I think Kyle Gibson, totally viable. Down the list, Pablo Lopez, then Chad Kuhl. The reason I say it like that is because we identified Chad Kuhl last week as one of those guys being on this list, and he's been great since. I suggest you add him. Again, 12-team leagues can be tough playing for Colorado, but when you get away starts, or if he has a really weak opposition at home, I think you could start him. He looks phenomenal. Lots of swing and miss there, over 30%. Really that benchmark. Bottom of the list, all guys we want to be looking at. Let's wrap it up with Eric Lauer, who the world has now turned on to. No surprise, Milwaukee's a pitching factory. Nick Martinez and Matt Brash. Nick Martinez and Matt Brash in particular might be available. Circle those names. We can dive into them a bit more at another time. But this is how you find the diamonds in the rough. All right, let's get over to xWOBA. a really great amalgamated stat, which is skewed. But that doesn't mean that we can't use the number. It just means the precise number might not carry the same value that it once did. However, the spectrum still matters, right? Being the best and being the worst still matters because the change, the variable, has been applied consistently to everyone. So though the numbers and their way they correlate to regular statistics, and if you're interested in that, my podcast, Cork Stats, individual podcast, check it out. You can rate, review, subscribe to that bad boy. Had Matt Modica on there. I ran all the correlations for all the X stats, and guess what? They're not as valuable as you may think when being applied apples to apples. But if you're using them on a scale, they're absolutely fine. Let's get into the list. Right at the top, Alex, can of cob of corn. Man, I love Alex Cobb. He just got annihilated. See if you could pick him up. See if you could trade for him. Maybe people think, oh, he's hurt. He's not any good. You never start anybody the first time off the IL. Let that start go. Nobody cares. Nestor Cortez, legit. Dylan Cease, Rodon, Kershaw, Sandoval, Wright, Sam Long. Again, stop the presses. And now, why does this matter? It's not just because there are two advanced statistics. It's because there are two advanced statistics that tell us different things. Whiff per swing, right, is a swing and miss kind of strikeout metric. xWOBA is a contact metric. And that's why I like to break up stats into baskets because they might give us a different idea. Meaning sometimes you'll hear people say, he leads in barrel rate and he leads in hard hit rate. Those two things are extremely similar. It doesn't tell us that much, adding the second stat. But to know that a pitcher not only reduces the quality of contact, but also, right, gets swings and misses. Those are two totally different things. Because you can get a ton of swing and miss, but when the ball is struck, it's in the seats. This is a totally different thing. This is the ball is being swung and missed at, and when it's being hit weakly. So there's a little bit of application for you. Go after Sam Long, I think, right now. I haven't even really done the dive in, but it seems like if you have free agency pickups, pick them up now and worry about it later. We know the Giants are a pitching factory as well. If you have a bench spot, I'm not sure about the rotational right now, but, everyone's always a day away, right? Cobb was just out, could be back. Rodon's got issues. It never hurts to hold the guy that you think could have a big impact. Zach Gallen, Chris Paddock. There we go. Chris Paddock and the Sheriff. I'm looking to add the Sheriff to my teams. I'm looking to trade for him. Martin Perez. It's been his calling card, that really weak contact all year. He doesn't have the strikeout stuff. You won't find him on the left list, but he's been okay. I'm not really buying into it just yet. He had 2 starts that were mad to start and 2 starts that were good. I'm just not ready to buy it yet. I'm going after Perez today. I don't think he's going to get smoked, but I do think he'll lose. Let's wrap up this list. Manoah, Syndergaard, Musgrove, Michaelis. Miles Michaelis, again, known for weak contact. He looks excellent. You're going to have a hard time prying him away from the owner. Aaron Nola, Dylan Bundy, Corbin Burns, Verlander, Scherzer, and Ohtani. So, Dylan Bundy kind of stuck out there, though. Really kind of big test for him today. We'll maybe talk about that in just a few minutes. So there's a little bit of the pitching advanced leaderboard and a couple names to keep an eye on, right? So let's look for Sammy Long. Let's keep an eye on him for sure, and maybe look to add a guy like Kyle Gibson. And of course, I don't think you'll be able to pry Eric Lauer, but hey, tires, you never know, because I do think he's legit. Again, if you think you can get an owner that's like, oh boy, I'm selling high and I'm kind of making out on this. That's what you want to do. You don't always have to buy low. You don't always have to buy depreciating assets. You could buy things on the way up and look for a continuation of the breakout. All right, let's get into some hitter stats. DHH and blast rate. These are not stats you generally see, and that's what we're doing here. The context and the nuance you get in Cork Stats. DHH is a combination of exit velocity and launch angle, so it's kind of like expected WOBA, but it's without the sprint speed. I'm not really looking for that because I think we have enough issues with the ball being changed. At the top, no shock, Byron Buxton. After that, Patrick Wisdom, right? They keep rolling this guy out there. He keeps getting opportunities, lots of strikeouts, but the batted ball quality is amazing. I wouldn't play him in Roto, but he is a guy I have rostered in point leagues, right? When he's getting a full complement of games, going to play all week, you get the handedness going on, you could play Patrick Wisdom. Not too many surprises here. Gallo, Sano, Trout, Harper, Judge, Schwarber, Stanton, Robert, Soto, Brian Anderson. So those are the names you want to be looking for, especially in deeper leagues, guys that are making good contact. Right now, offense is really tough, right? So where we might not even react to that initially, maybe a year or two ago, right now that kind of is just enough. It's just enough of a spotlight to take a look at Brian Anderson. Then Julio Rodriguez, how about that, man? He's going to get a bad rap. He's getting punched out on those looking Ks. I think that will turn around. Eugenio Suarez. I do like Suarez. I bought into it wasn't just changes we saw, but it was kind of a return to what we had seen in the past. So I do like Suarez. Again, probably more of an OPS guy. I'm not looking to mess with the average in Roto. Kepler, Arenado, Jock Peterson, Guerrero Jr., Brandon Lau, Kike Hernandez, Rizzo, Carrero, Daniel Vogelbach, another guy we've been mentioned. He's get mentioned every single week, all the time on the show, because he keeps coming up on the lineup show. He comes up on the roster show during the week. He's leading off. He's playing every day. Daniel Vogelbach must be owned in 12-team leagues. So if you can get him as a U or a CI, first, I don't know if he's really a first baseman. I don't think we're quite there yet. But he's got to be a CI and a U, particularly in kind of, deployment-based weeks. All right, over to the other side is blast rate. If you're unfamiliar, with blast rate, blast are the ideal subset of barrels. So it's the barrel of barrels, the Cadillac of barrels, if you're from my neck of the woods. And, these things matter because as the ball has changed, we've seen X stats be affected the way I kind of mentioned. And that's one of those things. We're having balls, because of the rise in EV at the point of contact, end up being labeled barrels that are not having that impact. All right, blast rate. Again, a lot of the usual suspects for the audio-only listeners. You don't need 30 of the same names. Gallo, Buxton, there's Wisdom, Stanton, Schwarber, Trout, Rowdy, Tellez. That's a guy we want to be looking at. I think the playing time has been a touch spotty for Tellez, but he's certainly the next guy up in Milwaukee. They have a lot of injury risk on their team. Nothing's materialized yet, but like Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich, Urias is back. That's going to hurt Tellez in the infield. But again, I think he's right next up. Keep an eye on Tellez. Harper, Ryan Jeffers. I really like to hit to on Ryan Jeffers from a catcher. You don't get much from catchers. Keep an eye on Jeffers. He might be a 12-team viable guy, right? And he's one of the reasons why it kind of hurts you if you draft Sal Perez or JT Realmuto, and they're not great. You can't drop them, and then you can't add this new guy. Austin Riley, Sean Murphy. More catchers on the board. So again, more, disparaging, paying up for catchers. And I think that argument holds less water in Roto. I think you need the catcher because a lot of times they come with plate appearances and average, where in point leagues you can kind of stream for the home run, and that'll do it. I mean, like quite literally, if you have a catcher hit one home run during the week, they're probably viable in point leagues. So keep an eye on the power hitting catchers for point leagues. Love those guys, Murphy and Jeffers. Let's get back to the list. Garrett Cooper on this list. Right? There's some names that we're just not really thinking about, maybe in terms of power. So there's Brian Anderson, Garrett Cooper, a little bit of Miami love right there. Keep an eye on those guys. Garrett Cooper's playing all the time. Miami's been a bit up and down on offense, but I think opportunity plus skill, Garrett Cooper should be owned. 12-teamers, he's probably right on the bubble, but it depends. I mean, we have guys that are in the tank. So I'm not like talking about dropping stars, but I think you do need to sit them and get offense while you can. Part of that's coming from Garrett Cooper, CJ Cron, Beast, Aaron Judge, Christian Walker, Castellano, Sal Perez, Rizzo, Brandon Marsh. Look, Adele got demoted. Brandon Marsh looks really, really good. Should be added, got to be on teams. And Pavin Smith hit a home run off Trevor Rogers yesterday. Again, not really quite there in 12 teams, but these are the watch list guys. And I think that's still a pretty good service that you could do to your fantasy team, is at least know the very next guys up. Or if you have an injury, these are the guys that you could plug in because they're putting up really, really legit numbers. And if these numbers start to wane, then you do the easy cut thing. Baseball is a game of recency, fantasy at least right now. I like point leagues. It's about the ebbs and flows, the sine waves you got to get while the getting is good. All right, let's dive into the betting board. I got a little parlay here. Yeah, I've got 3 plus money plays here. The parlays have lost 2 days in a row, but that's fine, right? 0.10 units a day, and we're looking at plus 500 or better. Today is plus 1,000, which I don't know how that happened. I just picked my 3 favorite things. I don't marry myself to this. Like, I'm not trying to construct something that you'll like. I'm not trying to tell you what you're going to want to hear. I look at the board. I look at the notes. Remember, this is the first of parlay. I haven't run the algo with all the filters and the notes and everything. That hasn't happened yet. These things take a lot of time. I work right up to first pitch, and that's why I suggest you check us out on Twitter and on Patreon. You could just follow it up. And a lot of times I don't go against these picks, but you may see adjustments. You may see one of the picks turn into an F5, or maybe a run line turn into a money line, or just something like that. Because, again, life's about being malleable. First one on the list, we got Baltimore. I think they're going to win this one outright. I know. People just never feel like bad teams win, but this is baseball, baby. I really like the youngster, Kyle Bradish. He looked excellent last time out, and he has been downright filthy this year, minor leagues included, up against Dylan Bundy, 4 touchdowns, poke high. Don't get me wrong, he has been good first start. He struggled a touch, but I think with the plus money, I think I'm liking the Orioles. I mentioned short and F5. I just got my eye on some of those bullpen stats. I mean, listen, it's a cool parlay for a dime. If I were going to put a full unit on this one, right? So if you're going to separate these plays, please take Baltimore as an F5 and don't look for it. I still think they win. I'm not like backpedaling on the win. I do think they'll get it. I think Bradish is better than Bundy. I think Baltimore offense is going to look to get it done. I believe Minnesota has also really struggled. They haven't been great against righties, and they haven't seen this kid. He's really deceptive with the fastball. So I think Baltimore will get it done today against Minnesota, who's super hot. But again, those streaks just don't last forever. And that's really one of the best ways to get in trouble in baseball, is thinking Yankees win every day, Toronto's win every day, Dodgers win every day. Just not how it goes. When you have pitching, that's when you go with the underdogs. Next up, Philadelphia. I got them covering the spread today. Philly is at home. We mentioned that against Martin Perez and the Rangers. Zach Wheeler is back. He looked really good last time. He did walk a few guys, but we got to give him time to get back, right? He had the discomfort that I'm not really worried about the injury so much as it threw off his routine getting ready for the season. So what I'm getting at is I truly believe what we're seeing is still part of the ramp up. And we got 6 scoreless. He threw 90 pitches and he didn't give up any runs. So he's going to be fine. The walks I think will correct. And Texas is awful against right-handed pitching. I mean, they're exactly one of the reasons why you really need to be splitting these offenses up, because you look at Texas and go, oh, good offense. They're the best against lefties. They're the worst against righties. So I think Philly gets it done. The bullpen's rested. I think they'll get it done. Not buying the Texas offense against righties. Like I said, give me Philly in the plus money to cover the 1.5. Last up, it's the White Sox going against the Cubbies. So we got the Chicago versus Chicago matchup battling for the hearts and minds of those in the Windy City. We have the distinct pitching matchup in this one. Kyle Hendricks not really buying against my boy Lucas Giolito. I think the White Sox really just have a 3-phase edge. I wonder if the public is still buying into the Chicago Cub offense, which came out of the box so very hot. Right? They do say that. Muhammad Ali actually used to talk about that during his fights, and he'd say that's why he used to come out with a flurry and end with a flurry, because it's human nature to remember the beginning and the end and just piece together, right? Kind of bridge the gap in the middle. So it's very possible. Chicago Cubs offense stinks right now. They really stink. I don't know why this game is as close as it is, so I think you could play this one standalone, minus 135, but I'm going for the cover and the plus 135. We're going for the whole kit and caboodle. Baltimore Orioles with the win, Philly to cover up, the Pale Hose from Chi-Town White Sox to cover up those baby Bears, risking 10th of a unit to win the full U-Dog, baby. You know, that's what I like. So we're going to look for the big payday, and if you don't hit it, you don't hit it. But that's why the risk is so very important. Last lesson before we go out of here, it's our job to control the things we can control, to worry about the things we can control, to focus on the things that we can control, and not do anything with the rest. So, in conclusion, risk management is the key. We don't throw the ball. We don't swing the bat. We don't control the outcome. We do control the inputs. Bet small. If you find yourself worried, pacing, upset, sick to your stomach, these are all natural human reactions. I'm not demeaning you for this. I'm not trying to come down on you for this. I'm just saying if it happens, right? Objective. I deal in the realities. If you find yourself worried when you lose, bet less, please. And if you find yourself having already bet too much and feeling the need to catch back up, that has to be eliminated. It doesn't work that way. We're going to make money over time. It might not happen this week. It might not happen this month. It might not happen this half. And that makes me sick to my stomach, knowing that. But I don't let it affect me. I'm here every day, up before the crack of dawn. Big smile on my face, full of energy. I'm happy. I love life. I love you. I love my family. I love baseball. I love America. I love everything, man. Enjoy this. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. And it's also why when I'm not betting, I like to spend my time on things that fulfill me. And I miss my work and I come back to it happy and looking, to grind the stone again, win or lose. So, we're off 2 days of losses. It's always a good time to talk about how to lose. Anybody can win. It's very easy to win, right? Winning is very easy and it's part of the allure of betting. But it is the losing that separates the wheat from the chaff, the children from the adults, the professionals from the amateurs. So, all right, everybody, you got your stacks, you got your fantasy advanced board. You got your bets. Remember, Yankees righties, Phillies righties, White Sox lefties, Brewers lefties. Get up in the jock market. They'll go over $7.50 for anybody. We're paying $5 for basically all those guys. $3.50 for Wong, Telez, Grandal, and Sheets. You got your bets, right? We got Baltimore, we got Phillies, and we got the White Sox. We are on our way to the cashier window, everybody. Thanks so much for picking up. We're putting down, rate, review, subscribe, download the Jock Market app. Use the code MMN Mayo MediaNet. Get the $100 for free and hit me up. I'm going to get you paid doing what we do, baby. Me, you, the Cork Stats crew. Woo! I catch you on the flip side, everyone. Enjoy the games. Enjoy your day. When we're done with the book, enjoy that pay. Come on, tell me when you work this hard. Don't it feel a lot less like luck? Damn right, yo. Peace.